Hey, I'm Aaron. Welcome back to Cheap Wax Chronicles. Today we're doing an opening video for 1997 Pinnacle. This was the year before Pinnacle brands actually went belly up in 1998, and this was the last full year they actually had a full product line for baseball. There aren't any notable rookies in this set, however, it is pretty photographically interesting, and it's also a good snapshot of what Pinnacle was doing at the time. 97 was about the peak of the insert craze. Fleer 2 years earlier has started doing a program where they actually did an insert per pack. So all the insert sets they have like 15 insert sets that year, and all of them were pretty devalued because obviously you get, if you bought a box of them, you get 24 to 36 inserts, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. But there were some pretty cool designs. Pinnacle also carried over some of the stuff they're doing from the Score line. They took the Score Gold Rush parallel concept and introduced the museum collection in Pinnacle, which is sort of a quasi-lenticular rough gold foil. I hope we pull one so I can show it to you. And they also have the artist proofs, of course, the bronze artist proofs being the most plentiful and being of every player, and then gradually scaling up to rarity up to the gold artist proofs, which only about 300 of each copy were made. There are also some cool die cuts in here. We have the home and away jersey die cuts that I'm hoping to see one of. We also have Passport to the Majors, which is a book type of insert shaped like a passport, so that should be interesting. This box came from 3-Star Sport Cards in Bloomington, Minnesota, and it's running about $30 right now on the secondary, so it's a good way to get into a set. This is going to have 24 packs and 10 cards per pack, with the base set being 200. I'm expecting we should probably get reasonably close to filling out the set, so without further ado, let's crack this box and see what we got. Empty. Gotta love that mid-90s card smell. And I'm also excited to look at these because they are going to be a very interesting look at mid-90s card design philosophies. Pinnacle really sort of pushed the boundaries when it came to some of these, so it should be interesting to see what they have here. And hopefully they aren't bricked, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, and they are bricked a little bit, so we'll see if we can separate them without damaging them. First off the box is Reggie Jefferson, Kim Barté, Marquise Grissom in a Braves uniform, Jose Vitiello, Mark Loretta, Jose Canseco, and that, he's a Red Sox there, and then there's Luis Castillo, who ended up playing for the Twins in 2000, Ray Ordonez, a former St. Paul Saint, I believe it's Alex Gonzalez, and then Ozzie Smith, a nice little Hall of Fame card to top that first pack off, so that's not too bad. These are actually really nice cards, so the photography is really good, and then you can also see in the gold foil imprint, so the name is embossed, and you can also see, and I'm not sure if you can actually catch it in the camera here, I'm going to try and bring it up, we actually have different things that relate to either the team or the player. So Luis Castillo, being a rookie, you can see the rookie is imprinted in there. And with all the rookies, the names are in red instead of black. So kind of an interesting design touch there. Pack one out of the way. And depending on how quickly we can get through these, we may just stop at half the box, but we'll see how it goes. Pack 2 starts off with Jeff Bagwell. That's a nice one. Vinny Castilla. David Segui. Darryl Hamilton. This box will not be complete unless I'm able to pull like Bernard Gilkey or something of that ilk. Alex Fernandez. There's Donnie Wall. Nomar Garcia-Parra, rookie. Andrew Jones. Set that one aside. Ray Durham. And then there should be a Barry Bonds card in the set that's actually pretty interesting as well. And Jeff Conine. Mr. Marlin. And I'll have to show you one of these card backs too because they're pretty interesting. Carlos Delgado as a Blue Jay. Ryan Klesko, set that one aside for sure. Rafael Palmeiro. You hear how those cards are sticking together. Pudge. Darren Dryford. Name I haven't seen for a while. Darren Fletcher. Clout. This is one of the inserts here. Oh, insert back to back. Oh no, those aren't inserts. I'm sorry. Those are just subsets. So Clout for Sammy Sosa. And that's an interesting card back. And then you have Greg Maddux. Set that guy aside. Billy Wagner. And Quentin McCracken will fill out pack 3. So no inserts yet. Let's take a look and see what we have here for insert odds. So there you have museum collection. Those are, we should pull, hopefully we can pull 2 of those out of this case. Then you have Shades, which is another die cut, sunglasses, and that's going to have a dark, almost black foil obverse, which is going to be pretty cool if we can pull one of those. Passport to the Majors, Artist Proofs, and Team Pinnacle. So those are the ones we're looking for. And Team Pinnacle is the one that has the die cut home and away jerseys. There we go. Trevor Hoffman, that's a good one. Ben McDonald. And Barry Bonds, there you go. So that's a nice a nice landscape. Really cool, picture there. And then with the reverse, you can take a look. I mean, it's a very typical. It's pretty colorful. Mid-90s back. I like the wood burning for the team name, which is actually pretty interesting. Alan Trammell. Pat Henkin. That's a mid-90s pull if I ever saw one. Steve Traxel. Had a few good years with the Cubs. I think he was done by 99 or 2000, I think he was. Rick Wilkins. I'm not familiar with that name, actually. Terry Pendleton. I believe he played that late. Mike Sweeney. That's got to be really early on in his career. And Mark Thompson. For those of you wondering what I do with these, I typically buy these boxes because I want to put them all in my personal collection. And typically what I end up doing with these is I binder them, and because I do like to look at these cards quite a bit, especially these ones that have like the cool photography. Like a couple of videos ago when I did the studio on that one, I immediately into a binder because I love the way those cards look. We have Kevin Sater there. That's a guy who I didn't expect to see on this pack either. Jeff Brantley. Jeff Fry. Listen to how badly those cards are stuck together. Luckily, they're not leaving too much of a residue, except for in the foil a little bit, but that should be all right. Mark Grzelcyk. Chris Steins in the rookie subset. That one's really stuck together. Jeff D'Amico, and here you can see there is some residue there on the card front. So that's, hopefully we can pull out one of those. And there's Ricky Henderson. There's a Padre. I don't remember him playing with the Padres. Moises Alou. And Orel Hershiser. And that was when the Indians did a really fantastic job of pulling in a lot of vets to try and shore up their young teams during their playoff, during their at least divisional dominance of the mid to late 90s with guys like Tommy, Manny Ramirez. Dave Winfield was brought in as a veteran presence for a little bit there. Dwight Gooden. Ernie Young. And then who else do we have? So obviously had Kenny Lofton. Albert Bell was there for a while. So the Tribe was a really good team for probably up until about 2001 was really when they really started to falter. Once guys started to leave. Craig Pocket. Chuck Nagy. One of the most underrated pitchers, I think, of the post-expansion era. Oswaldo Fernandez. Todd Green, rookie. Todd Walker, rookie. You go with Urbina. That is a story and a half, man. That guy was he was a character. I'm not sure what ended up happening with his post-playing life. I don't know if he's actually alive anymore, honestly. But we'll have to see. I know he got arrested a couple times in his native country, and he had some issues with tigers. But that's the way it goes. I'm just rambling at this point. Jim Thome. Brian Jordan. Jeff Facero. Some good classic 90s names coming out here. Mark Whitten. Alice Burks. Wilton Guerrero. Marvin Bernard. Mike Cameron as a White Sox, because I'm used to seeing him as a either a Ray or a Mariner. F.P. Santangelo, who actually, I believe he went into the front office shortly after this. And then nice Frank Thomas. Garrett Anderson, really funny names coming out of here. Todd Hundley, Eddie Murray, Rondell White. Sick of seeing that guy for sure. Alan Bennis, although he did have a decent run with the Twins in the mid-2000s as sort of a fill-in outfielder in DH. Ricky Bottalico, that was one of Terry Ryan's trademark veteran retread signings. Didn't quite pan out the way it should have. Tony Clark, current head of the Players Union. Troy Percival. Fernando Valenzuela, that's a great one. And Jason Dixon. That pack was almost too easy to open. Carlos Garcia leads this pack off. Devon White. Scott Stahoviak, former first baseman of the future for the Twins. And there is our first inset. There is our future, Team Pinnacle. So there's Albert Bell, as I was talking about. And these are actually kind of cool because this is a double-sided foil print card. Albert Bell and Barry Bonds. Really interesting that they chose Albert Bell to be on the obverse. They're a little bubbling on that foil print. But still not a bad card. Set that one aside. Bernie Williams. And then checklist 1 of 3. So these are set aside in the checklist as players. We don't actually list the checklist. They're the players in the back. So I believe that's Jay Bell. And there's Andrew Jones for the common checklist. And then Jay Buhner, The Bone, and then Cal Ripken, Clout. So I think the Clout subset was 10 strong, so we're pretty close to getting all of that. Cecil Fielder, Mark Johnson, Ken Camnitty, Dan Wilson. A little damage to that corner there, which leads me to believe there might be a die cut in this pack. And then there's our artist proof, Frankie Rodriguez. That's a museum collection, I'm sorry. So that's a interesting card. And Frankie Rodriguez, an interesting side note in Twins history because he's actually drafted by the Red Sox and traded to the Twins in exchange for Rick Aguilera, who then, after the season ended, signed with the Twins. So at the time, it was heralded as a pretty bad move by the Red Sox because Rodriguez is actually a pretty highly touted prospect, but he didn't really pan out either. Mario Cordova, Ricky Bottalico, and Omar Vizquel. Again, I've said this in videos before, but I think he was criminally underrated for the time he played. And Andy D'Argentino and Danny Tartable is going to finish that pack out. We're almost done with packs. The first half of this box, we'll just continue pressing on here. It's not doing too bad on time. Mark McGuire. And this is, no, that's just a standard one. I thought that was going to be artist proof. Gene Shaw. And you can tell this one also has that tarnishing of the gold foil there. I'm not sure if you can really see that on the camera, but you can see how it definitely dulls towards the bottom of the card there. And I'm not sure if that's because it was facing the wrapper or not. Roger Clemens. And that's one of these things you gotta look at with these 90s cards is condition-wise anyway. Fernando Vina. Once you get into a binder, it's not gonna make it much difference. It's destined for the personal collection anyway. So, Kurt Schilling. Another member of the tribe, Kenny Lofton, Clout. Jason Thompson. Jose Paniagawa. Not familiar with that one at all. And there's Brent Brown. Another stellar name that I have never heard of, Robin Jennings. And now pack 12. Mike Fetters, Jamie Navarro, Greg Myers, Andy Pettit, Mark Newfield. That's an interesting pull. Barry Larkin, as I yank these cards apart. Mike Mussina, before he got traded to the Yankees. Steve Gibraltar, Todd Hollandsworth. They really had to crowd his name in that. That's kind of funny. Scott Service. This is very similar in design to the 96 Pinnacles as well, although they did use a little bit more of a ornate typeface. The 96 Pinnacle used a pretty standard block typeface, and this is more of a, it almost looks like copperplate. Joe Carter, Chan-Ho Park, who had a pretty big sort of a mini subset in Collector's Choice. Jose Offerman, Tony Gwynn, and I believe this is going to be our second museum collection. And it is Mark Thompson. Great pull, guys. Mariano Rivera. That's a good card to have. This is pretty early in his career, too. I think, what, he came out 95, 96? Matt Williams and Ken Griffey Jr., and I think that is pretty much all of Clout now. And there's Chuck Knobloch. Edgar Renteria is going to round out that pack. All right, let's go for stack 2, guys. Let's see if we can get any more of those inserts here. I was really hoping to see something besides Team Pinnacle at this point, but that's just me. All right, Orlando Miller. Ooh, Ryan Sandberg. And Chipper Jones. So we got the Jones brothers, who aren't actually brothers. And Lance Johnson. Alex Rodriguez. That's a good card to have. And Eric Karros. Ken Hill. That's a very 90s player to pull for sure. Darren Oliver. Joey Cora. And BJ Sturhoff. Not to be confused with Alex Cora, of course. Roger Cedeno, James Baldwin, Paul Malter. That's a great pull. I like that one. Rhett Butler, Tom Glavine, Rocky Coppinger. I believe I have this one already, but you know it came from my youth, so who knows how beat up it is. George Arias, Ryan Hancock, with the old California Angels insignia that they used from 93 to, what was it, 98? Mike Piazza and Johnny Smoltz. Jeff King, Harold Baines. That'd be at the tail end of his career too. Ron Gant. Come on. Albert Bell. And there is your die-cut shades. And that is Gary Sheffield. That's a pretty cool card. So you have the gold foil here, or not the gold foil, I'm sorry, you have the full color pictures printed on that silver foil there. You know, this card is not going to be worth a whole lot, but that's actually, you know, a pretty cool little card. And Sheffield with the Marlins. This was their championship year, wasn't it, guys? 97. Under, was it didn't Leland manage the team during that time? Tim Belcher, Dimitri Young rookie, Nafi Perez, later found semi-fame as a Cub, Jamie Wright, and Darren Erstad. Eric Davis, Andre Dawson as a Marlin, and Jim Eisenreich. Jamie Moyer, Cal Ripken Jr., Passport to the Majors. So this is one of those cool book ones I was talking about. So you can tell it's definitely a book. It is going to be thinner cardstock than your typical Pinnacle card there. I'm not sure if we can actually get a video there. There we go. But you can definitely see, I mean, it's a thinner card to go into the pack. But it's still got the foil printing, it's still got the basics. Still a cool insert, and it's of a really good player, so I'm not going to complain about it. Paul Wilson. Checklist 3. That's either, is that Erstad or is that Snow? Manny Ramirez, Clout, Hideo Nomo, Clout, and Andres Galarraga, Clout. I thought there were only like 10 of those. Well, we've seen a ton of those ones. Alright. Brady Anderson. Delano DeShields, Sr. Jason Kendall. Jermaine Dye. Kevin Brown. Mark Grace. Rico Bragna. Dave Hollins. Briefly played as a Twin. I believe that he was traded to the Mariners for Dave Ortiz in 98 or 99. Shane Reynolds and Gary Gaetti, post Twins, as an Angel there. All right. Well, 2/3 of the way through this last stack here. Juan Gonzalez, Billy Swift, Kevin Mitchell, Ruben Sierra, Dante Bichette. And that's the cool thing about these 200 card sets is you're sort of getting the greatest hits of the semi-stars and regular stars of that era. Mel Von Clout, Alex Ochoa, Amari Telemarco, and Justin Thompson. Not familiar with those guys. As opposed to opening some of the stuff like that upper deck box I was cracking, where it was a lot of no names, and mostly reminiscing about pulling these no names. Edgar Martinez, Scott Brocious, and Frankie Rodriguez base card. Todd Stottlemyre, Jeff Bagwell again, Darren Bragg, Derek Jeter, Chad Manala, Rafael Bonillo, I'm not familiar with that one, Mike Stanley. Bobby Abreu, Sean Dunston. God, Abreu was all around then? I thought he was another Eisenreich. Jeff King. Pulling one off the back. That was Mark Loretta. Ozzie Smith again, so we're not going to get that full set if we're already seeing repeats. And Alex Gonzalez. Let's get King off the top of this pack here and see what's under him. Tim Salmon. And another Castillo. And another Ray Ordonez. Clean up my area a little bit, and then I'll get these last 2 packs. Or 3 packs, rather. Vinny Castillo, David Segui. Here we're starting to see those repeats now. Darrell Hamilton, Alex Fernandez. I think we've seen this entire pack before. Trevor Hoffman, Don Hall, and Nomar Garcia-Parra. Another Andrew Jones, Ray Durham, and Jeff Conine again. So I'm expecting these last 3 or last 2 packs are also going to be cards we've seen before. Maybe maybe inserted out here because I think we've already pulled 3 inserts, and then we have the 2 parallels we've pulled. Reggie Jefferson, Kamara Barti, Marquise Grissom, Joe Vitiello. Yeah, this is entirely a repack. Jose Canseco, and Darren Fletcher. Sammy Sosa Clout, and there's our Greg Maddux Clout as well. And then Billy Wagner, and Quinton McCracken. So yeah, I'm expecting this is going to be the same way. Let's check her out. Oh, this is a new one. That's good. Darryl Strawberry, Ben McDonald, Barry Bonds. I guess this is a little bit new. There is Alan Trammell again. Pat Hentgen, Rick Wilkins, Steve Traxel, Terry Pendleton, Mark Thompson, and Mike Sweeney. So there you go. That is our box. Fairly interesting set. I feel like a set for all these sets, but it's it's a good design. It's good action photos, nice crisp clear photos, not a whole lot going on in the front, a little bit of detail in the gold stamping, which makes a difference, I think. And then the reverse is definitely, it's a 90s atrocity, but what are you gonna do? I mean, they did the best they could. And then of course, with Clout, you have the nice teal that was in fashion at that time as well. So not a bad set. I'm actually not sure what this one books for. But it'll look nice on the shelf in a binder at the very least. And then I got a couple of duplicates I can trade out for people, so not too bad. Yeah, so that's our video. Hope you like what you see. If you have any comments, obviously drop them right down in that below section. And then please make sure to hit the subscribe button, ring that bell so you get notifications for new videos, and make sure you hit the thumbs up. And stay safe, stay well, and support local card shop.